The grand hall of the crystalline spire was a tapestry of silent diplomacy. Delegations from a dozen species stood in precise, respectful formations, their attention fixed on the elevated throne. Upon it rested the monarch of the Celadon hive, her chitinous form both elegant and imposing, reflecting the soft green light of the chamber. Her multifaceted eyes surveyed the gathering, a summit intended to secure her empire's neutrality in the growing conflict between the Terran concord and the Krellian hegemony. Among the envoys, a lone human stood. He was a veteran negotiator, his posture calm, his simple gray uniform a stark contrast to the riot of alien color and biology around him. His task was delicate, to persuade without demanding, to offer alliance without subjugation. The air hummed with the subtle vibration of translation fields and the unspoken weight of galactic politics. The massive, ornate doors at the hall's far end slid open without a sound. A figure entered, not a dignitary, but a child. It was the monarch's only offspring, a juvenile heir rarely seen in public. Its form was a smaller, more delicate version of the queen's, its carapace a softer, shimmering jade. Protocol dictated the young one would observe from a distance. A lesson in statcraft, a respectful silence held as the child moved with careful, practiced steps across the luminous floor. Its path, however, did not lead to a side alcove. It walked with increasing purpose directly toward the assembled delegations. The human negotiator noticed the shift, a slight tilting of antennae among the insectoid courtiers, a faint ripple of unease. He remained still, his hands clasped behind his back, his expression one of polite observation. The child's pace quickened from a walk to a skitter, then to a full, uncoordinated sprint. It bypassed the rows of Krellian ambassadors, ignored the hulking forms of the Briv, and weaved through the stunned avian delegates. Its target was unmistakable. The hall's silence deepened from respectful to profound, a vacuum of utter shock. The small being came to a halt directly before the human, its delicate antennae quivering. Then it did the unthinkable. It breached every canon of royal conduct, every law of xenobiological expectation. It pointed a small, clawed limb at the man and shouted a single, crystal-clear word imperfect, unaccented Terran standard. Father. The word echoed in the monumental space, seeming to shatter the very pillars of understanding. No one in the palace could speak. The Krellian envoy, a being of molten rock and pride, stood so still its internal heat flickered. The avian delegates froze mid-preen. The queen on her throne did not move, but the light reflecting from her form seemed to harden into ice. The human looked down at the small alien creature. His training, a fortress of composure, held. He showed no surprise, no confusion, no paternal affection. He merely offered a slight, formal bow of his head. "Your Highness," he said, his voice calm and clear in the dead silence. "You honor me with your familiarity, but there seems to be a misunderstanding." The child simply reached out and wrapped its small claws around two of his fingers. The touch was gentle, but the act was seismic. A low, subsonic hum of distress began to emanate from the queen's attendants. The monarch finally moved. She rose from her throne, a tower of sudden, terrifying grace. "Explain," she said, her voice not a sound, but a vibration implanted directly into every mind in the room. It was a command that brooked no delay, aimed not at her child, but at the stars themselves. The human negotiator gently, slowly, extricated his fingers from the child's grip. He took a single step forward, addressing the queen directly. "Your Majesty, I assure you, I have never before had the privilege of visiting your glorious world, nor have I ever encountered your heir. The biological impossibility is absolute. The heir does not err in imprinting." The queen's thought voice was cold, laced with a threat that transcended language. "The paternal resonance is absolute. Explain, or your ship and its crew will become dust orbiting our sun." The man took a slow breath. He knew the truth would be a weapon, but the lie was now impossible. "Then the error is not in fact, but in origin. 15 standard years ago, during the Battle of the Seraphim Belt, my vessel was destroyed. My escape pod drifted for 3 weeks before Concord search parties found me. My survival was deemed statistically miraculous." He paused, letting the memory hang in the air. The official report stated my life support was failing. The truth, classified until this moment, was different. My pod was breached by a Celadon bioship, itself damaged and adrift. Its sole surviving occupant was a wounded drone, a collector of biological data. It did not take me. It saved me. It used its own biogel systems to stabilize my injuries, interfacing directly with my nervous system to regulate my vitals. For 18 days, we were symbionts. It shared my memories, my neural patterns, my genetic blueprint to better understand how to keep my unique biology alive. It perished just hours before my rescue, its substance dissolving into dust. He looked from the horrified queen to the child, who still gazed up at him with unwavering attention. "The drone was a remnant of a lost scout vessel from your hive. Its final act was to transmit its entire data core, including the complete psychic and genetic imprint of the being it saved, back to the hive mind. A final report. I was its last subject. The queen was a statue of utter stillness. The hive mind was a closed, sacred network. An alien imprint, a human pattern, woven into their psychic tapestry, was a profound violation of their essence. But the transmission would have been received, archived, and studied. The heir," the human continued, his voice softening. "Was she intubated after the Battle of the Seraphim Belt?" The queen's silence was confirmation. The heir was a new genetic strand, an attempt at incorporating resilient, adaptive traits into the royal line. The hive biologists, analyzing the fascinating, rugged data from the lost drone, would have used the strongest template available to them. They had not copied a human, that was beyond them. But they had used the psychic and genetic architecture of the negotiator as a foundational scaffold, a blueprint for resilience, upon which to build a new Celadon queen. The child was not his daughter, but she was, in the most profound and biological sense possible of his making. His identity was the mold into which her consciousness had been poured. He was her paternal resonance. The hall remained silent, but the tension had shifted from threat to a universe of dilemma. The queen looked at her child, who saw a father. She looked at the human, who was the source of a staggering cultural heresy. And she looked at the gathered powers, who had just witnessed the unthinkable. The human did the only thing he could. He knelt, bringing himself to eye level with the young heir. He did not reach out. He simply spoke, his voice for her alone, though the entire room heard. "You are the future of a great people," he said. "Your mother is your queen, your guide, your everything. My role was but a single thread in the tapestry of your being. Honor her. Learn from her." The child tilted its head, its complex eyes shimmering. It then turned and skittered back to the base of the throne, looking up at the monarch. The connection was not broken, but the clarity of the moment had been gently, irrevocably redirected. The queen looked from her child to the human. The threat of annihilation faded, replaced by a colossal, silent embarrassment and a dawning, pragmatic horror. The secret was out, witnessed by rivals. The human's truth had disarmed her, but it had also exposed a profound vulnerability. The human negotiator stood. He addressed the queen, and by extension, the entire galaxy listening through its representatives. "The Concord seeks alliance with the Celadon Hive, Your Majesty, based on mutual respect and strength. Today, you have seen a strength you did not anticipate, born of an accidental kinship. And I have seen the adaptability and profound depth of your people. We are, it seems, already family. Let us now discuss, as family, how to secure a future safe for all our children. He had not planned this. He had turned a moment of catastrophic scandal into an unbreakable diplomatic lever. The bond, however accidental, was now a galactic fact. The Queen, with no path to deny it, slowly inclined her magnificent head. The conversation that began, and was not about neutrality. It was about legacy and the strange, unpredictable ways it could be forged among the stars. No one in the palace could speak of what truly happened, but everyone knew. The human had not fathered a child. He had, through sheer, stubborn survival, fathered an alliance.